It was really hard. And so I started doing this. And that's when this guy walked in, and he had his flashy muscle car. He had all this money. He was giving me $300-400 a day just to sit down and talk to him. And my rent was paid in 2 nights. My rent was paid. And this was a couple days before Christmas. So Christmas and was taken care of. I was just like, oh, wow, what a nice guy. I had just turned 19 years old. And he says to me, well, I gotta go and do some trips down to Los Banos, which is like in the middle of nowhere. He says, you want to go with me? Just ride with me. I'll give you some money. And so I did. I got in the car and I rode down with him. And he said that he was selling marijuana to a dispensary, and it was, legally grown, and that he was selling it to a dispensary. And I completely believed that, because I didn't have, I had a cell phone and everything by then, but you couldn't just pull up the news on your phone. I mean, you didn't really have like social media apps on your phone yet. And I didn't have cable because I was broke, going to the club or going to school, college. And so I seen a couple things about how it was being legalized, and a lot of the girls that I worked with were smoking. And so I just was like, oh yeah, no, that sounds legit. So he was making this money, and then he'd give me $200, $300, and seemed great. And he was, I started opening up to him about my past and my childhood, and he just seemed to be so sympathetic. So bad what you went through, and your parents just didn't understand you, and they don't deserve you. That's what he told me. Your parents don't deserve you, and why don't you, come up with me? You come up and live with me. You won't have to pay rent, so you can save money for school. We can get you a better car than what you're driving. You can have a muscle car like me,